Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and I'm excited because it's Friday and that means we are returning to our Fridays for future Let's Play of Fate of the World, the climate change game. So it's the year 2120 and I've made a couple of mistakes in the last couple of episodes. And they were really bad mistakes. So let's have a look at the emissions here. You can see the emissions went up again. It's not on the level that they were previously above. I mean, in the first half or over the last century, we pretty much pumped out about 50,000 megatons of CO2 or equivalents into the atmosphere, and that has gone down. You can see a couple of regions are actually contributing negatively to that, so they are scrubbing the atmosphere of CO2. That's great, but we were actually lower than that, and now we are starting to see some of these regions coming up again, and that's not good, and that is purely a gameplay mistake that I made. So let's have a look at what these regions are. So you can see a lot of these regions have negative numbers, so that's great. These are really good. But there are of course these guys with the positive numbers, specifically Southeast Asia, India, Middle East, so and Southern Africa, a little bit Northern Africa as well, but that's really so small that it doesn't really count. The big ones are Middle East and Southeast Asia. And the reason for that, again, is purely gameplay based. So let's dive into the numbers and see what has changed over here. So if we do a look at the emissions, you can see sort of here it behaved normally. We would have emissions from energy, that's yellow. Come on, give me the toolbar. Energy is yellow, industry down here. And here we did something interesting because we played cards that would allow us to use, come on, where is it? Renewables basically, and that means the energy usage went down, or the energy was produced with less carbon emissions, and that was great. That brought these emissions down over here. But then here we played a card where we asked the industry to stop using coal basically, and we should see that somewhere over here. I think somewhere over here it should be. Well, I didn't see it now, but yeah, we were asking the industry to stop using coal directly in the industrial plants, directly in the factories, and they did that. They reduced their emissions in the industry itself, but it did mean that they were using energy, and energy usage probably went up by quite a bit. Excuse me. And you can see that here. Energy usage was somewhat stable over here, and you can see more renewables coming in this yellow bit. And then, as we asked the industry to stop that, the energy usage just went up dramatically and our renewables couldn't really keep up with that, and that's why we are burning coal again. Indeed, coal and oil, and massive amounts of that, much more than we did before. So yeah, that's really a bad thing. So what we do need to do over here then is to commit further to renewables. Can we do that in fact? We are actually doing that already, so yeah, I think that's an important part of the things that we do need to do over here. And it's a similar situation in the Middle East and Southern Africa. Both of these regions were looking better before. You can probably see that in the energy usage here. No, there's a bug over there in the display. But yeah, in the emissions we should definitely see that, yeah, energy usage was spiking dramatically. But as we are building more and more renewables, it's coming down again, and that's nice to see. Right, so in Southeast Asia we are committing to renewables, that's all good, we are building all of that. There are, I think, no big news that we should be really aware of. This is, of course, good to see. So let's have a look at what cards we are playing over here. Artificial trees, that's very important, that scrubs the air of CO2. We're playing the cap and trade emission scheme, so we are asking them to bring down their emissions. We are playing the renewables card, so building up more facilities there, that's great. We are having artificial biomes over here. These guys do prevent mass extinction events of, but they're basically zoos. And we have the bionic decontamination, which always is very nice to see as well. What else can we do over here? We could play the synthetic feedstocks, but it would make our problem worse. It would mean that we are not using oil in the industry anymore, but we'd be using energy instead, and we don't really have the energy right now, so let's not do this. This would be pretty bad. I think what we actually can do is, since the outlook here is balanced, we can make these people a little bit more green. I think that would be great to see. So just do a little bit of propaganda and get these people on board with that. So over here in the Middle East we should see a rather similar problem, I figure. Yeah, you can see, yeah, energy usage went up dramatically, and that is mostly fired by oil and gas. Not by coal, actually, at least not so much by coal. So yeah, what we do need to do is expand the usage of renewables, and we'll definitely going to do that. That's good so far. We're also playing artificial trees, protecting the land, desalination program so that we have a little bit more water. That's all very nice to see. Yeah, other than that though, water stress, yeah, other than that though, you are fine. You're actually materialist, so we should do some propaganda over here as well. That's going to be great. Then we have India. I suspect there's some similar problems here. Yeah, some water stress. Technology is on the rise. And we do some good things. We actually want at 100% renewables over here. Well, that's interesting to see, and we're still producing emissions, mostly from the commercial sector. Interesting, interesting. So what we should potentially play... well, the coal-free industry is tempting. Do we actually still use coal in the industry, in the industrial sector? A very minimal amount. Well, we could play it. I don't think it would make much difference. I'm a little bit more tempted to play either the synthetic feedstocks or the switch transport to electricity. I think that's going to be a good idea. And we're going to commit to renewables, even though we are at 100%, so that we are preventing that problem from propping up over here as well. Southeast Africa, similar situation. We are committing to renewables already. There don't seem to be any really bad news. We can drop the adaptation to storms because they don't... We haven't actually... We don't see any big storms in the region over here. What we could do though is we could acquire the technology for biofuels, and I think that might not be a bad idea. Okay, acquire second generation biofuels. You're balanced, so we're gonna do a little bit more propaganda here as well. That should be pretty good. Other than that though, could play some of these things. Enhanced water infrastructure is always nice. I don't think there is much water stress here. But it's always nice. It's very low water stress actually. So is there anything else that we might want to play? I don't think so. No. No, all good. Right, that does bring us to a place with a lot of water stress. North Africa. This is really bad. The water stress here is going up and up and up. And that's even though we are using... Well, we should be using at least the water infrastructure. Where is it? I thought we had bought that over here. So, yeah, the water stress level... I think that's the water use that's climbing up here. Yeah, industrial water use, commercial water use. All of that is going up and up and up. And even though, yeah, we are running the desalination program, so we are generating more water, but it's just, it can't catch up. And I'm not sure what we can do over here. We are already subsidizing biochar. We are already having some organic farming. Words. There's nothing we can do over here really to help us out, I'm afraid. Should definitely commit to renewables if we aren't at 100% already. No, we're actually burning some other stuff. Interesting. Yeah, let's acquire second generation biofuels over here. That doesn't help with the water problem, but I think what might help with the water problem is in Europe. In Europe is our headquarters, and that allow us to play some special things. And I would like to get the International Climate Refugee Treaty. That will help us to move some people, and maybe we're going to move some people away from Northern Africa to some place where we have a little bit more water, and that might be a good idea. Right, is there any other particular technology that we might want to do? We could send a mission to Mars. That doesn't really help us a lot. But maybe not. Why not? Why not? We can do it. We do certainly have the agents over here that do allow us to play all of these cards. Oh, we could also ban a couple of things. And I think I would love to ban global coal production. If we do have a look at the overall view, there are still some regions that do require quite a bit of coal, specifically South Asia and the Middle East. But all of these regions, I do think they're using that for electricity generation, and just getting rid of that, I think it's a fine idea. Right, that does leave very few places actually. In China we are already communal, so we might want to skip the generation over there. I think we are playing the deploy first generation fusion over here, but fusion is only making a very minimal impact over here. This slight sliver here, this light purple one. So yeah, it's not really doing much for now, but you know what, that's okay. We could... I think we have all the technology that we can acquire for the moment. Could get desalination, but I don't think that's important. Yeah, so China for now seems to be doing fine, I think. Could play one child policy, I don't think that's required. Integration program. Could expand the biofuels a little bit. Yeah, might not be the worst idea. Okay. Russia then? No specific warning of any impending doom, so that's nice to see. Yeah, you're already eco-wearing. You do have the artificial biomes and the artificial trees. I don't think we need the adaptation to droughts. Although it's not the worst card to play in Russia because it does have enormous forests. And if there's a fire there, then that's a pretty bad thing. Could build transport efficiency, or we could incentivize people to eat less meat. That also... where was that? Over here, right? Discourage meat production. How about in Northern Africa? Can we play this card over here? Don't think we can, because we're probably already all vegetarian, yeah. Alright. Japan, anything over here? Nope, that all looks pretty good to me. So what we could do is the synthetic feedstocks. And we could also do the industrial carbon racks. It's not... Japan is a very small country, but still, that might be a nice thing to do. And in Latin America we are already communal, so again let's drop the propaganda efforts over here. Let's have a look at things. Everything seems to be fine and good, so that's nice to see. We are already at 100% renewables. There's nothing we need to play over here. Could go for the enhanced water infrastructure. Always a nice thing. Yeah, let's do it. Do we need to acquire any specific technology desalination? I don't think so. So, yeah. I think it's a good place. We might not actually want to do anything else over here. Everything else seems to be fine, even on the social side. Reduce the working week, but why would we? Research programs. Okay, let's do adaptations to heat and drought so that we don't get fires raging throughout the region. And then we can briefly check the news over here. Oh yeah, there are some storms coming up in North America, so let's instead play the adaptation to storms card. And just look at the news in all of these regions. I think we played all these regions already, except for maybe Oceania. Wildfires. Unemployment is still a big issue over here, but we are playing the job sharing initiative, so that's nice to see. So yeah, let's see whether we can do some... whether we do get to a better place next turn. Here we go. World heading. Ooh. Temperature are coming up. Coal is... resource demands devastatingly outstrip global supply. That's natural, because we banned actually all coal usage. Ooh, global population reduced by 31 million. Impact death toll 67. Ooh, that's not good. Groundbreaking advanced bioengineering, that's good to see. Synthetic meats breakthrough. Ooh. Nice, that's very nice to see. Yeah, emissions are coming down dramatically, specifically in the Middle East, in Northern Africa, and somewhat in Southeast Asia, although not as much as I would have expected. But yeah, the coal usage is a big issue. And let's see what that did to the economy over here in Southeast Asia. Yeah, it dropped down dramatically, specifically for the industry. And that's, yeah, because the energy sector here is not... the energy over here has quite a couple of problems. Necessary evil. Yeah, you were hit hard by that though. Okay, still, I think all of these cards do still make sense. Let's have a look at the electricity generation over here. Yeah, so you are lacking some oil and gas because we banned coal entirely. This is a weird graph, but you can see that solar is still picking up. Yeah, and we didn't lose that much due to the oil. So I think you're gonna be fine. Same in the Middle East, I suppose. Yeah, energy sector is lacking some serious resources. But yeah, you can see over here these things do not really add up to... They do add up to 100. That's a little bit weird. Okay, yeah, but solar, so yeah. Coal was entirely dropped. Oil is coming down. Gas is coming down. And solar is coming up as it replaces the other things. Well, that's good to see. Anything else that we might want to see over here? Water stress? Yes, we suppose so. You're on a balanced outlook now. We are committing to renewables, we are protecting the land and soil. I would really like to play the artificial biomes over here, but I don't know what to drop. Maybe the eco-awareness campaign? Maybe the deploy sulfate aerosols. But I don't want to get the temperature to be over 2.5 degrees. I think we have to play that for now. So yeah, not much with that we can do. A little bit unfortunate. In Southern Africa, no news that stick out, so I'm looking for the red news and see if there's anything in particular that we want to look for. Oh, so your electricity generation, 100% renewable, so that's very nice to see. Yeah, very good. You are already communal, so let's drop out of this as well, and you know what, I'm gonna drop out of these two, just so I can replay them and have them right on the left, where I probably want them all of the time. Your water stress really wasn't that high, so that's nice to see. So yeah, what actually do we need over here? Turbine tax? No. Well, we could adapt to heat, just in case. All of the other things seem to be fairly good to me. We could do mass relocation. People wouldn't necessarily like that, but I don't think we need that, at least not in Southern Africa, maybe Northern Africa. Climate Refugee Center. So, unintegrated mining, yeah, so we could relocate people from Northern Africa to Southern Africa. I don't think that's necessarily the best place to go, even though it's, you know what, things are fairly fine over here. We don't even have mass unemployment. So you know what, let's build that. Yeah, let's build that. I think that's a good idea. Other than that, the region looks fairly fine to me. Could build the desalination plants just to make sure that we are a little bit better over there. And you know what? Let's adapt to storms and heat. Good. Northern Africa, how's your water stress? Extremely stressed. So yeah, let's have a look at that. Is it coming down at least? It's coming down ever so slightly. That's potentially due to the fact that we are... Nope, that's not the screen I want. It's... Are we using less water? No, we are using more water, but we are at least building up more water due to the desalination program. So that's good. Anything else we might want to do over here? So we could do the mass relocation for at least a turn or so, just to reduce the stress over here, just a little bit. So what are the news in Europe? Nationalism. Balanced, consumerist, or denial. You aren't really that. You are actually communal. Maybe there's a rounding error. So I'm gonna go for the eco-awareness, I'm gonna go for the job sharing, and I'm gonna go for the integration program over here. Other than that, we don't really need any specific big technology. Enhanced water infrastructure we don't need. And oh, bioengineering. Yeah, that's a very nice thing actually. Nanomedicine. What does that allow us? We'll let Europe eliminate sickness and grow nanomedicine synthetic meat. Yes, I would like to acquire that. All of these things are very important though, so I'm not gonna acquire it right now. Let's instead go to Oceania to see what we can do with this. Biotech research program is now obsolete because we've discovered actually everything, so that's nice. And we can do the synthetic feedstocks, we can do the vegetarian revolution. You're a materialist over here, so we should actually definitely give you some eco-awareness propaganda. I don't think I can see any other effect from the from the new research over here. No, not really. Vegetarian revolution, industrial carbon. Ooh, yes. So far behind on many things. Let's do the industrial carbon rex. Coal ban dangers risk. Yeah, no. I think it's fine. Unemployment is still extremely high. Just how high is it? Does it continue to be that high? Let's look at the population over here. Elderly. The workforce then? Commerce, unemployed, yeah. So so this is probably influx from other people though. Interesting to see though. Oh wait, India, how are you doing? India is always a very interesting country. Industrial resources are undersupplied, so yeah, the industrial... How is the GDP looking up over here? It's not actually bad. Yeah, industry hasn't really been hit by that. We did see last time, we did see last turn actually, that coal usage was really low. So that's fine. We can actually play that card, and I think that should auto finish basically. Artificial biomes I think are great. Yeah, all of this is okay then. Europe, we did look at that. Let's actually basically check the news over here if there's any sort of fire risk. Not over here. Let's acquire the technology over here. Biofuels it is. You are good. But I really don't think the first generation fusion does much for us. It's just so little. Yeah, but you can see also the renewable resources are barely ticking up in China. So I think in China we will need some more, some other stuff. So second generation basically. Okay, yeah, but the first generation fusion just doesn't make much difference. Yeah, we will need to acquire the second generation fusion. By the way, in North America, you're still researching artificial intelligence even though you are behind, sort of above that. So I want to drop out of this for a second here and see whether that is doing something else. You need some propaganda, my friends. Other than that though, you seem to be fine. You'll probably need the adaptation here. Could instead acquire the bioengineering. We should also think about acquiring that over here because this is our headquarters and that does change things. Latin America, nothing really bad happening over here. Do you need anything else? I think you're fairly good. Yeah, so let's simply adapt to whatever is needed. How's the unemployment over here? Very low. So you know what? We are gonna also open a relocation center over here. And that should be okay. Right, that does about settle it for most of these regions. Have we forgotten anything? I don't think so. We are at a point where most of our cards will be fairly stable actually. How are we looking in terms of emissions actually? Yeah, very nice. In North Africa, negative. Southeast Asia, significantly lower than before. Oh, and globally we are negative. We are yes, we have negative emissions. That's extremely good for us. That's very, very good for us. We should see the parts per million concentration just about coming down. Not yet, but next time, probably. Yeah, very good to see. Yeah, so it did work, specifically for Southeast Asia, but also for some of the other countries, so yeah. You know what, let's play one more turn. I want to see what's gonna come up. Temperatures are coming down over here. Global gas production is peaking. That's a little bit unfortunate. Population is being reduced over here. We have to see what's going to happen there. Humanity sets foot on the Red Planet. The first manned mission to Mars has successfully landed on the Red Planet. The chances of anyone going to Mars were 1,000,000 to 1 according to some, but the success of this mission proves these doubters wrong. It opens the door for colonization. That's lovely to see. And can we maintain our negative emissions? It appears we can. Parts per million is stable? Yeah, absolutely flat over here. I think it was at 599 before, so that's great to see. So temperature should not be projected to rise too much. Great. Lovely. Can we actually play a new space card? I just want to check that out. Ooh, multiple wildfires actually. Alright. Space cards. Mars Base Serious Gamer. Approve a mission to found a base in the Wendy Coven on the flanks of the Archimedes. This really doesn't do anything else except stroke your ego, I guess, and I'm completely fine with that, so we're probably going to do that. There's a huge chance of failure or risk of failure, but you know what, we're going to go with that because why not? There aren't that many things that we do need over here. Actually, I want to check how many people were coming into Southern Africa. Very few refugees, it seems. Anyone coming over here? No. Anyone leaving over here? Population. We should see that coming. How are there so many elderly over here? This is a gross miss ratio. Just look at that. There's the working age adults 177 million, and then you have twice as many elderly and 1 times as many children. So every working person is carrying a lot of other people. Yeah, okay, so people are dying over here. That's not necessarily good. Electricity is nice to see though. Water stress, is that coming down? Yes, it is. And probably not because we are using less water. Yeah, water usage is stable. That's nice. It probably has to do with us removing some people. But yeah, you know what? I think we'll have to put in a cut over here. And we will see what's going to happen next time, and whether we can maintain our good run over here. It's just 70 more years till the game finishes, and we would ideally like to reach the year 2200 with warming below 3 degrees. We would also like to see that we're not banned or anything, and we would like to get all of these bonus points. We haven't lost the landmark species so far. Eco-awareness should get to green. I think we're going to get to that. And we haven't gotten any mega deaths. We are at 9 billion people, so that's very far away. The important bit is here, warming never exceeds 2.5 degrees, 2,000 points. That would be very great to maintain. We are 2.3. It is projected to go up, but I'm not sure. Maybe we can bring it actually down again. Wouldn't that be great? So, guys, do leave a like and all of that if you want, and I'll see you again next week. Bye bye.